Talking about something a little bit different today, Scrubs has returned for a 10th season after I don't know how many years it's been since the previous ones. I first watched Scrubs, I think, around the COVID quarantine era. I've seen episodes here and there growing up throughout, but never really sat and watched the whole show until quarantine happened and I had nothing better to do and binged through Scrubs. Within a few weeks, it felt like I love the show so much. The camaraderie, the humor, the heart of the show, its ability to be like so lighthearted and so funny, so humorous, and just quippy, but also to be like hard-hitting and emotional and heavy at times too. I mean, the episode with Brendan Fraser is always a classic, heavy episode. So there's a lot of different elements about Scrubs that I love so much, and it's definitely up there with one of my favorite. I think it's one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. Up there with The Office, Friends. I really really love. That's another comfort show for me. But Scrubs is so funny. The humor in it is so dumb and so witty. It's just so good, right? So with the announcement of the new Scrubs season coming back, especially these days, I'm always a little weary of shows like this making comebacks or rebooting because you just never know. You never know the kind of humor they're going to go for. You never know the way they're going to write these shows nowadays, especially just the difference of culture, the difference of society, however many years ago back then, 10, 20 years ago versus society now. How are we going to cater to different audiences and such? So I'm always a little weary coming into reboots or remakes, things like that, situations like this. Got home from work last night after a long day, and I know my wife was waiting to watch it, and we threw it on, and I'm not kidding, I was laughing hysterically through both of these episodes. I think if the rest of the season goes the way these first two episodes went, I don't have a single worry about this show falling off or tanking or not being as good. I genuinely think the show is so funny. The first two episodes had me cackling hysterically. We see the return of characters, of course, like JD and Turk and Elliot, and I think her name is Carla. Forgive me. We see the returns of some key characters. Dr. Cox is in it. That's always a good first step is returning key characters and what we're going to do with them. But I think the dynamic is still there. The relationship between Turk and JD is still there. It's still funny. It's still brotherly. I love it so much. And I've just been cackling to myself like the whole day just thinking about some of these jokes that were written in here. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen these episodes yet, but I'm going to get into a few specifics just because I just want to talk about it. It's so fun. So they bring back all these old characters. We don't see characters like Dr. Kelso. We don't see the janitor. Obviously, we're not going to see Ted. Rest in peace. He's definitely going to be a huge part that's missing from the show. So we have all these returning characters. I don't know if we're going to see characters like Dr. Kelso or the janitor return at all throughout the season. It would be great if they did, or at the very least make some kind of cameo. I think that would be hilarious. But if not, I think how the show is being written so far and how it's performing already, yes, it will be missed, but I don't think it's going to be detrimental to the show and be like, oh, they didn't bring back Kelso or the janitor. I wouldn't feel that way at all. I think a lot of the characters that they have in the show now, and a lot of the additions that they have made, the new characters that are in it, I think are hysterical, and I think are going to fit the show and just be seamlessly, blended into it. There's some characters, I can't think of her name, but she's like a TikToker, and characters like that where they try to incorporate the newer gen, the TikTok generation, the social media, the social media lingo and things like that, I think can get really cringe in some ways, or overdone. And so at first I was a little hesitant with her character, but the more they played into it, the more it just fits. They write it really well. Her character and the way her character blends with other characters that are around her, like the other interns that are with her, and it's a lot of fun, and they do really well with it. And I think They call her the feelings police. So one of the new characters is played by Vanessa Bayer. We all know from an SNL. She's hilarious, but she plays this character who's basically like HR in a way, but she's like the feelings police. And so anytime, you know, JD or Dr. Cox or whoever it is like ranting to the interns and degrading them or whatever, she's like off to the side, be like, and just her character is so funny. Some of the jokes she makes I'm still laughing about today. Spoiler warning, this is one of the jokes she's talking about. She's like, and in character, she's this feelings police, and so she's monitoring everybody's words and things that they're saying, right? Because they might affect other people's feelings. And so she's like, you know, I wasn't always like this, and she starts imitating like her party days, all these other things, and then she just goes, "Stop resisting! I'm not resisting! I'm not resisting!" And I was crying in tears. I thought it was so funny. I think her character is just, I'm gonna love her character. I think probably the most of all the newer cast in the show already. I mean, I think it's hilarious. And we do have the Todd. The Todd is still in the show, and he made me laugh, I think, the hardest between either of the episodes. I'm not gonna say the joke, but just watch. I think it's the first episode. Just watch the first episode. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's hysterical. I almost spilt my drink and had it coming out my nose. I was laughing so hard. You know, after watching the first two episodes, and, you know, coming into it with the doubts or maybe the hesitation of like, is this going to be as good as it was? You know, or is it a cash grab? Whatever. But the way it's written, the way it's performed, the way these characters interact, the additions that they make, I really love. And, you know, overall, based on these first two episodes alone, it still has the heart of the show. It still has its charm. I mean, the humor, like I said, is hilarious. It's very well written. And honestly, they still have the emotional element. I think in the very first episode, you know, it ends with one of the classic Scrubs heavy hitting emotional beats where it's like a decision a doctor made in the very beginning affected someone's life at the very end, and now it's like they're responsible for person B over here is responsible for like their death. Now, is it their fault that they died? No, but actions they could have taken could have saved this person's life. And, you know, it still got those emotional beats, and I'm so excited to see what else they can do throughout the remainder of the season. I'm very, very excited. You know, me and my wife will be tuning in every week to watch it. It's so good. I love it. I'm not worried for the rest of the season. I think it's going to be a fun ride. Let me know what you think. Do you like the first episodes? Are you on the same page as me? Are you still kind of hesitant? Do you think it's going to go this way or that way? Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to start talking more about like other types of media. You know, I'm very big in music. I'm very big in heavy metal, but as much as I love music and concerts and all that stuff, I equally love movies, TV shows, video games. I'm huge into all of that, and I want to talk more about those things. I'm going through all of Marvel. I'm going through a lot of Star Wars content right now, and I'm just I started a Letterboxd. I think I'll try to find my information on that. I don't have much on it, but if you want, you can follow me on there, and just keep going with it. I love all of this stuff, and I want to talk about all of it. Having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, let's start a conversation. Let me know what you think in the comments. Ask me any questions that you have. Another thing I want to do is just kind of talk more about myself. I'm a bit of a yapper. I just like to talk. I like to talk about things I like, things I don't like. If you have any questions that you want to just ask me, leave them in the comments. You can DM me, literally about anything. I'm completely open. Ask me about other music opinions. Ask me about, Marvel movies, TV shows. Ask me about Star Wars. Ask me, things like that. Ask me, just about me. I'm more than happy and I'm more than happy to just yap about myself and yap about my life if that's something you want to know more about. You know, I'd love to talk about it. Like I said, I want to talk more about movies. I want to talk more about TV. I want to talk more about video games. I just want to talk about things that I like. I want to do more of this. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what questions you have, what you want to ask me. Just shoot them and I'll answer them at some point. Maybe I'll make a questions answered video or something like that. Thanks for watching. I know this is a bit different. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.